What's up, everyone? Welcome back again to another episode of Snug Wrestling Podcast with me. Once again, my name is Edgar. I am your host. And man, AEW is the talk of the town this week. We had Dynamite that just took place last night. We had the media call with Tony Khan, with good old Tone Loc. And we have Rampage. We had Collision. We got Dynasty this weekend. And everyone is talking about AEW, and we're gonna do some AEW and try to get into some other stuff today. And to help me to go over all of the shenanigans from AEW, I have two guests with me today from the 3D Wrestling Podcast. What's going on, fellas? Welcome to Snug Wrestling. Thank you for being with me today. How's everything?
Man, life is good. Can't complain. 3D
Yeah,
Wrestling
everything's
Podcast.
great.
We're growing, man.
Good, man. Yeah, I saw you guys. How's the recovery after your guys' WrestleMania trip? I saw you guys were out there last time during WrestleMania.
Man, it might have took a week and a half just to get my voice back from all the talking and everything we were doing down at WWE World, down in the parking lot outside Lincoln Financial, at Stand and Deliver. Man, we had a ball.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm recovering, getting my voice back from Mania weekend. That was the time. And there's that little bit of, I don't know if I would call it post-Mania depression, but there's that lull that comes after it all, like the hype and all that. Now it's time to get back to everyday regular business. So it's a bit of an adjustment still.
Yeah.
Back to reality, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
it's like
was nice to take a break. I needed it.
yeah, it didn't look like you were taking a whole lot of breaks over there. I saw you out there, you know.
We were recording content at like 4 a.m. recording a podcast.
Yeah.
We were up just moving around because there was always so much. When WrestleMania comes to a town, wrestling takes over. So there's wrestling every which way.
Yeah, no, you got to take advantage of WrestleMania season too, man. I'm still recovering from WrestleMania, but mostly from all the goddamn alcohol that I drank.
Oh God! Don't even remind me.
We had our fair share of alcohol being out there too.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so it wasn't all just work then. It was
yeah, it was a little play.
It was a little bit.
We had a good time.
You got to, man. So you guys were out there in Philly. Do you guys stay near Philly, or where do you guys stay at? So you guys had to make a trip out there?
We're both from Jersey, so the commute wasn't that bad to get out there. But staying out there, we were like in prime location. Like DJ, what hotel was it? What kind of hotel was it? I don't remember if it was Hilton or something.
Man, I forgot what hotel off the top of my head, but we were at like the wrestling hotel.
It was like the wrestling hotel. Like we saw constantly pro wrestlers walking through the lobby. On the drive there, we passed the WWE jet. It was prime location.
I mean, we walked out the elevator and literally we were just casually just walking past Shelton Benjamin.
Just he was just there. He was just like, "Hey, what's up?
Yeah,
hey there, Ben."
Walking through, yeah.
Hey, what's up, Benji? Hey.
I think Kathy Kelly was staying there.
Yeah, a third friend of ours saw Kathy Kelly. My heart is broken that I wasn't there to see her.
The crazy thing is, we sent him downstairs.
We left him downstairs to come back by himself.
Oh,
and
man.
I guess that was his reward.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, dude. Yeah, you have to take advantage. I'm gonna try to go probably next year. I mean, that's where it's at, for wrestling fans and content creators or podcasters or whatever business you're in, man. That's the place to be. So you guys did it the right way when you guys were out there. I saw all the content you guys were putting out. And that shit was dope, man. So I'm glad that you guys got that opportunity. And speaking of your guys' content, so tell us a little bit about your 3D Wrestling Podcast. How long have you guys been doing this for? How did it get started? And what do you guys usually do over there on your show?
I mean, we got started. It's funny because me and Derek actually went to high school together. Like I knew of Derek, but we didn't get to talk that much.
Yeah.
It's really after high school and while we were in college, we started interacting more through Twitter, talking about wrestling. which led to another one of our friends getting in on the conversations, which then led to just a group chat that we literally was just talking about wrestling constantly every day, and we still talk in the group chat to this day.
Yeah, it
every
lives on
day.
to this day. We just constantly just like bullshit about wrestling going back and forth.
Yeah.
So maybe around the pandemic, while we were just, everybody was trying to do something, everybody's at home. We started to just put our minds together and started thinking like, hey, what if we do a podcast? We talk about this stuff every
Might
day,
as well at that point.
right? So we recorded our first episode, I would say January 2021, going into the Royal Rumble. But that episode probably will never see the light of day.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, no, it was really rough early on.
It was very rough. We were still trying things out just to see if we could make it work. But
yeah, it's funny every time people ask me about my podcast. I always tell them, all right, you guys go listen to it, but don't start from the very first one, okay?
Yeah.
And they're like, just because you told me that, now I'm gonna start with the first one, and I'm like, fuck.
Like, I mean, we recorded episodes after that we never put out, but for us, we started seeing the progress more and more, and we kind of like just decided, we're gonna put all our chips in, we're gonna focus and really, create consistent content. And so I think around, what would you say, like August last year?
Definitely August, around like summer. Around like a SummerSlam time, heading into like SummerSlam 2023. That's so I say August of last year is when we really started like pumping out content. And even now, like in real time, we see the progress. I'm sure a year from now, I'd be just like you, like, do not watch our early episodes. Like, if you want to watch anything we do, watch it now. Do not go back, because even now we're like learning in real time.
Yeah, dude. Even me too. Like, man, it's kind of embarrassing to like go back to like even a couple months ago and listen to some of the stuff I did 2 months ago. It's like, fuck, I really said that. Like, damn. Man, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
No, it's crazy to think about. I mean, even now, like when I go back and watch those early episodes of us doing predictions and stuff, and I'm like, we sounded so like nervous, a little scared. But now we kind of got our little groove. We got our things we like to do on the podcast. And then once we got to Mania, like going into Mania season, I mean, me and Derek literally was like, we need to get some interviews. We need to do some things to expand, know. And
hell yeah.
Luckily, Mania season, we got down to Philly and we got to do some interviews with like the Vibe guys, who, if anybody who watches, or is really into the wrestling content, they do a lot. Alfred, huge on Twitter, right? Pro Wrestling Bits. And that's not a shout out to Alfred, though. He was cool. Him, we did an interview with What's the Status, who does a lot of the W2K like creation stuff.
Yeah, like the game a lot, like a lot of the creations that you see, like on going up on community creations, like unlocking characters. He's like the kingpin of that. He's also
hell yeah.
Yeah,
everyone's out there, dude. Literally, everyone that's like anyone in wrestling is at WrestleMania. Like every promotion, every content creator, everyone that you can think of around the business, man. That's dope.
And it's the cool thing is that it's not just them, but like even regular people, but it's just you're able to see them just out in the open, really. And that's cool. So, we're interviewing people and then people are coming up to us to get interviewed, and that's where we were like, okay, this is dope. And then before we even left Mania, we ended up like we spent the whole weekend doing interviews, recording, doing content, and then we get
might as well just set up your own table and just be like, all right, yeah.
maybe next year, hopefully that's in the plans. But yeah, we ended up getting interviewed literally outside the stadium. So what's that for? We still have no idea.
Still don't know. We had to sign the release forms. You had to do all of that. But that was kind of an interesting, like, full circle moment. We was going all around interviewing people, and at the very end of it, we end up getting interviewed.
Yeah. So
I
that
guess
was
we
cool.
can see what that's for.
Nice.
And then, I mean, now we're just progressing over here in Jersey. We're about to really about to start working with indie promotion, doing backstage interviews and really producing stuff to move, storylines forward. So we're expanding. It's a lot of good, cool shit happening.
Yeah, man, you just gotta have that consistency. Just keep at it,
That's really
Not,
the word, consistency.
yeah, and just like anything, it's you gotta kind of like mature into it. Like we were talking about how like 2 months ago, like I wouldn't like listening to myself 2 months ago because some of the dumb shit that I would say, but like later on in time, months from now, next year, kind of how you said, Derek, who knows where we'll be, and it's just time, consistency, kind of like the 1,000 hour rule. The more you do something, you better you get at it, and
For sure.
all that good stuff. But the thing that's so crazy to me is like I started off the same way as you guys, like me and a couple friends, just talking about it. We're like, dude, we talk about it all the time, let's do something with this, and then we got into it. And then once I started getting into it, I didn't realize how fucking there's so many fucking people that do what we do.
Absolutely.
It's like such a
It's so
niche market,
crazy.
but it's so everybody's in it.
It's so crazy. Like I had no idea it was this many people that are doing it. And it was probably a good thing that I didn't know beforehand, because if I did, then I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this shit. No, I can't. Like there's no way. How am I going to compete? How am I going to keep up with all these people that have been doing it for years? And I'm just like, no, I'm like, what's the word? I get discouraged easily, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I totally get that. And that's why we're even now we're trying to find a way to stand out. We don't want to just be that we're just here talking about wrestling. We want to have fun with it. We want to do different things, because that's going to make us, we want people's eyes to be glued to what we're doing and what we're talking about. Right? Because everybody's going to talk about the same thing, but, how can you make it different? Yeah, that's where, that's where we're at now.
I think it's something, like DJ saying, I think it's something we're still discovering in real time, like how we're going to like find our niche and where we fit, because there's a lot of wrestling podcasts out there. Even me, like I have my wrestling podcast that I listen to like on long drives and whatnot. So
yeah,
you got to find like where you fit specifically. And like you said before, the whole 1,000-hour rule, I'm still dragged kicking and screaming doing that. I hate not being just like, I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So I hate like just not being perfect at like what I'm doing. So
that guy,
back at the old podcast that we do, or even the ones that we do now, it's like, this could be better.
That guy's good though. That guy, Derek, I got it. Anytime I can, I will give my man his flowers. That guy is good. That guy is good.
Wait, Derek, so you do your own podcast like outside of the 3D wrestling? Like you have your own thing going on too, or?
No,
okay.
When it comes to 3D, like I do like most of like the editing, especially like when we do like with like indie promotions and work with that. I do most of like the videography and like a lot of like the editing aspects of things.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, cool, man. That's cool to hear, dude. That you guys are on the grind, man. That's what it's all about. And that shit pays off, dude. No matter what anyone says, eventually that shit, it'll come around. Especially if you guys keep going to WrestleMania and doing events like that. And
we definitely go back.
So I made a decision that Mania, I might have to go to Mania every year moving forward. Like I think that's just the way it goes. I mean, now, and I don't know if we want to start getting into it, but they haven't even announced Mania for next year yet. Like, where are we going?
Minnesota.
I don't know. They said Vegas is putting in a high bid right now.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's still conversations.
That'd be cool.
That'd
be cool, because I would love. That'd be a lot closer to me, Vegas.
Right in Vegas.
I'd even be down to go to Minnesota.
I've been to Minnesota. I've had a good time in Minnesota. I've had a better time in Vegas.
Fucking cold. Hey, it's too fucking cold in Minnesota, dude. I can't. Well, at
Yeah,
least according to old boy, rapper boy, what's his name? Who's
well, Yachty.
I'm too old. I can't. Yeah, there you go.
Yachty.
Wait, wasn't Philly like that too? Wasn't it hella cold
Oh
over
man,
there
Yes,
during Mania?
that
that
Saturday was
Saturday,
cold.
yup, was
Okay.
Windy, cold. It was bad.
freezing.
And then they
It
had
was
the
like
stadium was all opened up too, wasn't it?
open
Yeah,
air
it's an open
stadiums.
air
It's crazy.
stadium.
That's like the
So
first WrestleMania I ever seen that had like weather reports
yeah,
that
Oh yeah,
consistently throughout the whole show, just talking about like
yeah,
how cold it is, the wind chill. Like it felt like I was watching the news.
yeah.
or
There wasn't there like some potential snowstorm or some shit like that they were reporting or not?
I think
I wouldn't.
Saturday we had a little rain,
Mhm.
if I remember. Wasn't cold enough to snow, but definitely had a little rain, and that only makes things way colder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shit, it's still fun, man. Especially if you're having a little sippy
Oh,
sippy. You probably won't feel the coldness over
You
there,
gotta be
but
prepared to get by. It's WrestleMania.
shout out to Henny. The Henny, the Henny
shout
has
out to
helped. The Henny
product
helped for
placement.
sure. Now, hey, if Henny wants to sponsor the 3D Wrestling Podcast, I will
That's
carry a bottle with me
Please, we'll
at
take all
any
that.
point.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, WrestleMania was definitely a good time. WWE is popping. We got Friday Night SmackDown going down tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Are you guys excited about what's happening in the WWE right now after WrestleMania?
Oh, absolutely. I believe is it even next Friday that the draft is coming up?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what's starting. Yeah, so I believe me and DJ was even talking about this earlier today. How after WrestleMania, it kind of feels like a new season in like WWE. So it feels like everything's like fresh. I'm excited to see who might get called up from NXT, what new challengers we're going to see as far as like championship contention goes. So it is an exciting time right now in WWE. It's really dope.
Man, I love what they're doing. Sad about Rhea has to vacate the title.
Terrible, yeah.
Like that injury, I've experienced that injury, like the same exact one. So I know exactly how that pain is. So that sucks. But what picked me up, man, is that Chad Gable turning on Sami Zayn, ripping him from his wife with that German suplex, man. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. I love the way how Cody's carrying himself. I think they're headed in the right direction. And our boy Tama Tonga coming to WWE, finally making his debut. The whispers of Jacob Fatu coming soon.
Yeah.
Man, it's an exciting time.
Very.
Yeah, that's hella funny that you mentioned your boy Tamatonga, because I was literally just about to ask you guys about that because I saw something on the internet and I need some explaining. Man, I wish I knew how to do like to pick up some pictures, but I'm gonna just try to show it on the camera and see if you can see it there.
Oh man,
Yeah.
So I mean, the story.
I need some explaining here. What's all this about?
All right, so 2019, we ended up going to Wale Mania.
Oh, Wale Mania, yes.
So
yes,
it was,
Before we even go
New
into
York City.
Every wrestling fan out there, I highly recommend go to Wale Mania. It's like
I saw videos from it this year, and
Listen,
that shit look crazy.
Wale Mania is lit. I love it. Like Derek said, if you're a wrestling fan, do yourself a favor and go to Wale Mania. So 2019 we went, and I mean that was a year of Kofi Mania, so they had a whole thing going on. But we ended up in Wrestler VIP, essentially.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to talk to a lot of people that night. Cedric Alexander, my man at the Wrestling Classic on Instagram, we had a great conversation. Josiah, who was working at NXT at the time, he does all the wrestle rap stuff.
Yeah. Before he went to WWE, Shane Strickland.
Oh yeah, we was talking. Had a cool conversation with Swerve because that was actually his last weekend on the Indies before he signed to WWE. And being just a fan of the Bullet Club and everything, me and Tama and Derek was there. We had a conversation. We got a little too sweet in, and yeah, man, it was great.
And then now that fool's fucking beating up on people on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time coming. I'm happy that.
And don't let the bad guy gimmick fool you. Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Oh man, you're messing up his business.
Kayfabe. He's a great guy, bro.
That was an asshole.
Let's take that out.
Hey, fuck that guy, Tom. No, I'm kidding. Oh man, good shit. Yeah, so WWE is going crazy right now with everything that's happening over there. But it is AEW week now that WrestleMania is over. AEW is like kind of trying to creep in there, trying to ride that wave a little bit that WWE had going for WrestleMania. We all saw people in AEW taking all kinds of shots whenever they could, left and right at the WWE. So, we saw the footage from CM Punk, which, by the way, I saw a funny ass report today that the AEW ratings this week compared to last week went down. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
DJ was just telling me right before we started recording.
What is it, about 52 or 57,000 less views?
And people say that Punk isn't a draw.
Listen, Punk is AEW's biggest draw, and he's not even there.
Still,
that's crazy.
Him and Sheldon Cooper.
It's crazy.
And who?
Two biggest draws for AEW.
Wait, who was the other one that you said?
Big Bang Theory.
Oh God,
the greatest leading you can have.
Yeah. So Tony Khan, man, he just whenever, and I noticed this in the media call today, that we'll probably get into that as well. He just seems way too relaxed and way too calm about everything that's going on in AEW. Like the ratings that are to some people are really low, they're going down. The attendance is also seems to be going down. But Tony Khan, he just seems to be like, hey, it's cool. We're fine. Everything's great. We're great. Everything's great. How do you guys what's your guys' take on that? How do you guys feel about that?
I think CM Punk said it best in his MMA Hour interview with Ariel Helwani. I'm sure that you probably had a chance to see it. It was like the biggest thing going on a couple weeks ago. That AEW seems more concerned with having great matches than actually putting on great business. When it comes to like filling houses or just like having like big draws on their television, that seems to take like a secondary focus. And it's weird because I feel like AEW can gather the biggest names that they can. And within a couple weeks, everybody on the internet is complaining that they just don't feel the same. Adam Copeland doesn't feel the same. Mercedes Moné doesn't feel the same. Or like even somebody like a Kazuchika Okada doesn't feel the same. And I think it's part of a much bigger issue that AEW just doesn't take its stars and like push them or like promote them up to feel as big. So Dynamite doesn't feel, there's no urgency to watch Dynamite. Mm-hmm. There's still a couple of weeks. We do a wrestling podcast and there's still some weeks that I forget to watch Dynamite.
No, yeah, definitely. Same, dude. I mean, if it wasn't for what I do, I probably wouldn't be watching it. I wouldn't
even watch it. I mean,
yeah,
there's nothing, especially as of recent, that makes me want to watch the show.
Yeah,
and I love watching Will Ospreay work. He's great. I love watching Okada work. He's great. But since going to AEW, for me, something's changed, and there was the same disconnect. Like I thought Kenny Omega had when he first started at AEW. For some reason, that New Japan style doesn't really translate well to American television. And for that reason, like AEW is always going to give you great matches, but they're not going to give you a reason to keep tuning in the next week because you're going to see a great match. But I can catch that and all the highlights on Twitter, on Instagram. There's no reason storyline wise for me to go and watch AEW week to week. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty much what's happening with me as well. Like Mercedes Moné, I was already really not that big on Sasha Banks when she was in the WWE. So when they made the jump for her to go to AEW, it was just like, oh man, I kind of have a bad feeling about this, you know? And granted, like not even like 2 weeks later after that, I found myself already like skipping her segments. And unfortunately, I hate to say it because I don't want to have that feeling about people when they go to AEW. I want for people that go to AEW to give me something different that interests me more, you know? And that just doesn't really seem to be happening a lot. But I also want to get your guys' take on something that happened. I'm sure you guys heard about this too. That the Athletic Commission in Oklahoma got on Nyla Rose or got on AEW about that. And this was something that was also talked about at the media scrum with Tony Khan today. And for once, I can't agree with Tony Khan on these media calls. That is some pretty crazy shit, especially today and age in 2024. What was your guys' initial reaction when you guys heard about this shit?
I mean, I think it's crazy. And like I said, I agree with, like you said, I agree with Tony, you know, and everything he said, because no matter who you are, like, or what you do or what you stand for, when you're wrestling, you're entertaining people, that's what you're there for. No matter sex, you know, male, female, whatever the case is, you're there for entertainment. So, you know, kind of shame on Oklahoma's athletic, you know, committee to try to take that away. And to me, that's kind of what early on, especially made AEW special, is that they had people like Sonny Kiss. They had people like Nyla Rose that they were given a platform to, because normally you wouldn't see that. Yeah. So shout out to Tony for backing up, you know, his talent.
Yeah. It's something that especially confuses me because obviously for a long time now there's been like the whole like controversy and like conversation between like transgender individuals in sports, but I feel like pro wrestling is like the one outlier where there really is never what would I say, like advantage given really based on anything. The winner of the match is booked to win. So I don't see why Nyla Rose would have any advantage or disadvantage or whatever else against like any of her opponents. So
exactly. Especially since nowadays, and this isn't something that I'm a big fan of, but nowadays, especially in indie promotions, we see a lot more matches between male and female now. So it seems like eventually one day we will probably see that in like real professional wrestling and not just the indie promotions. Like hopefully not anytime soon, because I'm not really a fan of that. But when it comes to Nyla Rose, I mean, that's a completely different story. I don't think that applies there, even for me, who's not really a fan of, you know, even mixed tag matches. I'm not even a fan of that. But for some reason that I can't really explain why, and if I try to explain it, I'll probably come off as a dick. But I don't feel that way when I see Nyla Rose in the ring wrestling. You know, to me, she's a female wrestler.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel the same exact way, that I don't look at Nyla Rose and say, "Oh, she has an advantage." No.
Oh, that's a man.
No. Like, right. No. Not once have I ever looked at her and watched one of her matches and said, "Oh no, this is unfair."
This is unfair.
Like, no, not at all. She's a female competitor, and I mean, she's also entertaining as all hell. I don't know how much Nyla Rose you guys watch, but she's entertaining.
She's very funny. She's very charismatic and funny.
But yeah, I mean, and she's also and she's also believable too in the ring, you know. That's the
Sure.
most important part to me is like I know we all know, right? Shit, it's entertainment or whatever, but like I still want to get lost in it and be like, oh shit, you know, this is crazy, this is badass or whatever. And Nyla Rose, I feel like she gives the people that believability, that credibility, you know. So I don't really know all the details on this story. I just saw that AEW was getting some shit about it. So maybe do you guys know exactly like what the problem was with the state of Oklahoma exactly?
So from what I looked into, they are not keen and now you got to think this is the Midwest, you know, they're very,
Ah, I was gonna say, okay,
that's
that
what it
explains
is.
a lot.
Have to be like
Yeah. So
where-
That's
they're
a right
not
wing
big.
fucking state.
Yeah. They're
Okay.
not big on the transgender thing or, you know, just kind of those LGBTQ
Or
plus
any
right.
minorities for that matter.
Or yeah, that too. So they're not huge on that. And apparently they sent a warning before that, you know, she's not allowed to perform in the state of Oklahoma.
Oh
And
fuck.
AEW put her on TV, and they were gonna be fine, but I guess they just let them off with a, "Hey, don't try this again."
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, look, this just in WrestleMania is gonna be in Oklahoma next year. No, I'm just kidding.
I would have had to skip that one. Would have had to skip that one.
Oh man. Okay, so that explains a whole lot then. Yeah, the fact
Yeah.
that they are not in Oklahoma, and I think that question was also asked during the media scrum, like, hey, what are you gonna do, Tony? Are you just gonna say, you know what, fuck them and I'm gonna do what I want and just pay for the fine or deal with the consequences or what? But like always, Tony Khan just, you know, dodged the question or gave it the whole runaround and
Yeah.
didn't really answer. So
I mean, I think this happened with WWE early 2000s. I was reading about in Kentucky, they told them they couldn't bleed. And this is the night I think Triple H had a championship match, and that's the night he cut himself really deep. It was just whole crimson mass. And yeah, the state of Kentucky did not like that. And they didn't return for 8 years, almost 10 years. So we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Now this is a little different because the times are different, and this is against, you know, people's rights essentially to entertain and all that.
Yeah, I don't recall the exact like restrictions there were, but I do remember WWE did have a history of, on occasion, even paying fines prior to shows
because they were going to do it.
Yeah, like almost like letting athletic commissions know we're gonna break the rule. We're gonna pay it right now, just so you know. So we're gonna do this. I'm not sure. Obviously, like this may be a little bit more different because this is more like gender identity. This is like people's lives dealing with this a little bit more than just some fake blood or whatever angle they want to add to pro wrestling. So this may be a little bit deeper than that, but yeah.
It's crazy to me that these athletic state commissions even still exist in pro wrestling, because wasn't that the whole point of like Vince McMahon back in, what was it, like the early 2000s, like you said, DJ, who pretty much told everyone like, hey, this shit is fake. So what's to get rid of all that, wasn't that?
It 100%. When he was chanting, you know, get the F out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not pro wrestling, we're wrestling entertainment.
Sports entertainment or whatever you said.
Right, sports entertainment. Yeah. And but even then, the commission, I'm not gonna say the commission doesn't have any use, because I mean, I guess everything needs to be kind of in a way, you know, looked over, but now how much use is it really? I know GCW had this problem not too long ago. It was either
they probably get hit with a whole bunch of shit.
So I didn't know, but I looked into it, and like New York has a table limit you can use.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. So
that's
GCW paid the fines early because, hey, we're gonna use a bunch of doors and a bunch of tables, and that's it. So that's why
there's only one table per show, people. Nah.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was like you can only use up to 3 tables. I'm so serious.
For a GCW show,
Yeah, that's just not
and
realistic.
and only 5 light tubes and 12 thumbtacks, people.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. No, that's interesting, man. I guess it's like probably like a state thing too, right? Like different states has different rules or policies or whatever. Oh man, that's see, that's what you got to look forward to when you're gonna be out there promoting and shit.
Yeah,
in the biz.
For sure.
So speaking of AEW, I want to stay on this topic a little bit more because there's some other shit that happened on Dynamite that had me kind of laughing a little bit, and I want to see what you guys thought because I got mixed reaction because I made a post about this and the trios titles. AEW has trios titles. Ring of Honor has trios titles. So I said, okay, winner take all. We have 6 championship 6 championship belts that are going to be on the line at Dynasty in one match. And I'm like, that's got to be like a first time ever, right? Like I can't think of any match ever to have 6 belts on the line like that. So I got corrected. A lot of people were like, well, actually, it's not 6 belts. It's 2 sets of whatever. So
it's 6 belts. Everyone carries one, right?
Everyone, dude. Yeah. And they're all going to be on the line. And so good. I'm glad that you guys agree. That's why I have you on my show so you can agree with me. No, I'm kidding. So who do you guys think is going to win from all this?
I want to just start off by saying that AEW is doing Jay White a disservice. Because this match is happening on the 0 hour. It's happening on the pre-show. It's not even on the main card. And I hate that for Jay White because I'm a Jay White fan. With that being said, I mean, Derek, I think we just talked about this not too long ago. I think we're both agreeing that Jay White's going to get his get back on
Billy Gunn.
Daddy ass Billy Gunn. So I have the Bullet Club Gold winning.
I don't think it could go any other way.
Yeah.
I think anything besides Bullet Club Gold going over Jay White getting his win back on Billy Gunn is a terrible mistake.
I would also like to add that the Acclaim might as well just turn on Billy Gunn at the pay-per-view.
They're gonna have to do something different with the Acclaim because they lost a lot of steam. It seems like.
Cold. I don't know what's been going on with Max Caster on social media lately. I don't know what's been going on with him, but like the Acclaim have lost a lot of steam.
His raps too. He's been messing up a lot more lately, hasn't he? On the raps and stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's storyline stuff, but it's just the Acclaim has not been who they were.
Nah, not at all.
And I can't tell you why. I have no idea why.
It's that good old the Booker of the Year award goes to.
Listen, we're gonna have to double check that one with Tony.
That question was also asked during the media call. It was actually from good old Dave Meltzer, who was actually asking some real like hard hitting questions on the media call today, and I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, "Whoa, dang! Someone's not happy." Dave over there was like,
I guess so not. After all that hate he threw at Trick. Tatum Paxley, right? And then
I saw that. What the fuck was that about?
Listen, I don't know. Dave, I don't listen to Dave. I'm not gonna lie. I don't listen to Dave.
I listen to him occasionally, but now they was coming at his neck for what he was saying for NXT. That Tatum Paxley remark, it was unnecessary. I don't know why, because it just seemed like a complete net negative. The Trick Williams thing, I kind of agree with him on. I don't think he deserved the most.
Oh no, Derek, you're crazy. I
Derek,
think
we were
good.
doing so good, Derek. We were doing
Oh.
so good.
Don't get me
No, I'm
wrong.
kidding,
I
I'm
love
kidding.
Trick Williams. Trick Williams is
Yeah.
my guy. He's one of my favorites right now. But we can stay on AEW right now. We don't gotta delve too deep into it. But
Nah, let's do it. I'm gonna change subjects eventually. I want to get some WWE talking here too.
Trick still has a long way to go. He still has a lot of growth. He's great on the mic, and Dave Meltzer did acknowledge this. He's great on the mic. He has all the upside and charisma in the world, but when it comes to him in the ring, he didn't.
Hey, you know what? He has a dope ass entrance. I feel like in WWE, that's half the battle right there.
Oh, 100%.
Once you have that entrance,
how far did the dope entrance get Goldberg?
About 75%, 80.
Exactly.
What is that? What was that streak at? 100 something?
Oh, was it on?
I don't even
Listen,
remember.
I think it was like in the
entrance got
170.
90% there.
Yeah.
Jackhammer did the rest.
Yeah, I mean, even fucking Big Kaz and Enzo, you know.
Example.
And a catchphrase carried Enzo Amore's entire career. Like sometimes, like we say this all the time on the podcast. Presentation is everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Very true.
So as long as guys, as long as you guys ain't going on Twitter and calling anyone slaves, then I think we can say whatever we want here.
Fuck Kevin,
bro. I saw that.
Fuck him.
I saw that and I was like, I got caught off guard from that shit because I was like, what the fuck? Where did that even come from? Like, what was his deal with that? You guys help me out.
I have no idea. And
that just seems like so random and like out of nowhere. I don't know. I was confused by the whole thing. I was kind of maybe hoping you guys can fill me in on that.
I have no idea. It literally came out of the blue. It came out of nowhere. Okay. And it's just like comments like that are not needed, especially in, where we're at in terms of like being podcasters and talking about wrestling. Like, it's so weird because you come back from a place like WrestleMania where you see everybody and we're all there for the same thing. Everybody's enjoying themselves, right? We didn't have a bad time, not once, while we were in Philly, and just chilling with people who have the same common interest. And then you get on Twitter and you see shit like that. Like, that's terrible, and that kind of gives a negative light to what we do and the people we talk about and stuff. But man, fuck him, he sucks.
Yeah. And something that really bothered me about that was even just the attention that was given to it. I hate that like that. Even gas was thrown into the fire by all these big names in like NXT and like WWE, like acknowledging him. Like I would think, don't even give him the acknowledgement, because to say something as stupid as that, just let it die and just let him not gain any kind of traction. Because I don't want
to acknowledge our tribal chief. There we go. That's it.
But
yeah. I mean, if that was like some type of stunt to like try to get attention, unfortunately, for the wrong reasons, it seemed like it actually worked, and that's the worst part about it. But anyway, I was just wondering about that. But back to this media call that we had today. Did you guys get a chance to hear it?
I didn't get a chance to fully listen to it. I got some highlights and listen to some things, online and stuff. But, with my day job, I didn't get the chance to, sit down and listen to the entire call.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You didn't miss much.
The only thing is, I saw that there was like a small, and people are holding on to hope for this. Like, they've been holding on to hope for this for a while, but there seemed to be something that he mentioned that seems to be that we might be a step closer to AEW getting their library onto a streaming service like Max or something. So I know people saying,
I believe so. I don't remember that part because it's kind of hard for me to keep up with Tony Khan sometimes because he's just like.
And I think it was even just like an offhand comment. I don't even think it was anything kind of like official or saying like, oh, like it was happening. But I think it was just something like indicating that we might be a step closer.
Well, that's the thing. Every time he answers the questions, they're always just like comments. It's nothing official. He can never answer a direct question. And that's one of the reasons why I listen to those media calls, because I'm like, okay, how is Tony Khan going to bullshit his way out of this one? And that's why I listen to it. And one of the questions that Uncle Dave Meltzer asked was, are you ever going to let anyone take over the book?
I did see this.
That is a good question. What did he say to this? I didn't hear.
Nothing. No, actually, he said a whole lot of stuff, but he didn't answer the question. Basically, he was just like, man, I wish I knew how to play the audio on this shit so we can just hear it. But I'm going to do my version of what he said, which was, I mean, I'm not going to be here forever. So eventually someone's going to have to take it over, because that's just what happens in sports. You know, you don't stay in the same position forever. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean, Tony? Like, I don't know.
They're saying a lot and a little at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot and nothing. Or a lot of nothing.
Unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to just be like, you know what? No, right now I'm going to do it because it's my fucking company. And I, whatever I say goes, and that's it. It is what it is, you know?
For sure.
Well, that's your boy.
Tony does a lot of rambling, and
he does.
Sometimes it's confusing. Sometimes you can follow it. Sometimes you can't. I don't know.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit here, and let's talk about something a little bit more that I don't know about you guys, but I like a little bit more. I'm more of probably gonna get shit for this WWE guy over AEW, but Matt Hardy was making some comments that he was in talks with the WWE. There's been some teasing by Matt Hardy that he might be part of the Wyatt Six, or
that I did.
So when it comes to Matt Hardy, do we want to see him back in WWE?
I want to start off with, I have not enjoyed any Matt Hardy run since he's left TNA.
That's a long time ago, dude.
Listen, since Final Deletion, I like the Deleter of Worlds, but that's more so because I'm such a Bray Wyatt fan. And I thought that was cool. I mean, the Broken Matt stuff was awesome. The Woken Matt stuff could have been better. But even his run in AEW has done absolutely nothing for me. And the only memory I have of anything Matt Hardy related, I have two, and one's not even really him. The first one is Sammy slapping Matt's head on the concrete.
Oh yeah, I remember that, dude.
Crazy. First of all,
remember that, yeah.
Shouldn't have finished that, but that's a whole different story. And then him getting jumped and Jeff running out and doing his dance before he went to go make the save. So,
for those of you that are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Derek is over here dancing his ass off nonstop, going crazy.
He's doing a juke over here. But yeah, man, I think it would be cool. I think Matt does kind of deserve that last run, and maybe being in this Wyatt Six, if that's the case, is, you know, a cool way for him to retire. And honestly, for me, he should get his last year, 2 years in, and it should be at WWE because they gave him the opportunity to be, you know, everything he is. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, they made Matt Hardy the name that it is. I'm gonna catch so much hate for this take.
Yes, I love it. I already like where this is going, Derek. Let him have it.
You already, more fire, more flames. Let's go. More fire, more flames for the pod.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
gonna be fun hot takes on
all
our
the
show.
gas
More
on
fire,
that.
more flames. I don't like the idea of a Wyatt Six at all.
Oh God.
And I would preface this with, Bray Wyatt was my favorite wrestler in the world. I'd go as far to say is I don't think I've had a favorite wrestler since he tragically passed away. But I think all of his ideas should just be done. I don't want to see Uncle Howdy back. I don't want to see Alexa Bliss be her spooky little girl self again. I don't want to see any of this again. I'm sure we're going to get it. I've seen the doc. I've seen the little QR codes that we have on Raw. We're getting it. Even Eric Rowan has been like, he left his indie dates. I think he's on his way back. We're getting something involving this whole like Wyatt family thing. But
I mean, they're saying Braun is ready. Braun is ready to come back.
Yeah, so I'm interested. If we're getting it, I'm interested to see what we get. But I don't really like it. Matt Hardy. I don't need to see Matt Hardy come back and be. I don't even know.
Yes, Derek. Yes, Derek. I love it. I love it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call this episode "More Fire, More Flames."
Hey, I love that. There it is.
That's gonna be the name of this because, man, I was like in the back of my mind, I was thinking the same shit, but I didn't really think about it that much because I was thinking about other shit that's happening right now. I haven't really had the time to process the possibility of a Wyatt 6 being a thing in 2024 after Bray Wyatt's passing. And it's like, if it comes down to Matt Hardy, Alexa Bliss, I also saw that it was the Redbeard, Eric Rowan. He's canceling indie dates because of so everything seems like it is gonna happen. And oh man, if it really comes down to it, I'm with you, Derek. I agree. If they're gonna do it, if they have to do it, kind of like as a final, like goodbye to get some closure for a lot of the fans, I would say just Uncle Howdy, maybe a couple appearances here and there, but that's it.
Exactly, because I get it. These are the people that loved him. They want to pay tribute to a man that they care about. I can understand that. It's kind of similar to what we got in AEW when the Dark Order proceeded on after Brody Lee's passing. I kind of see it as something like similar to that, but even then, it sucks to say, what did the Dark Order do after Brody Lee passed away? They kind of just fizzled out. Are we getting these people together to just be wacky for a couple months and then just fizzle out? I don't see what a Bray Wyatt tribute band does without the actual Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt tribute band?
Yes.
That cut a little deep there, man.
Eric, don't listen to DJ, man. You're on a roll, man. You're on a roll.
More fire, more flames. More fire, more flames.
Yeah, more fire, more flames. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's gonna be interesting, especially in this new era, this new day and age that we're living in the WWE. That seems to be a lot more realistic. You know, with all these people just seems like they're being a lot more serious. They're being taken, more serious. Like Chad Gable, for example. Even the New Day the New Day also, they haven't been throwing the pancakes anymore. So now it's like, do we really want to do like another spooky gimmick while there seems like they're trying to transition into something more not PG, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kind of like set in reality in a way. Yeah, man. So I'm excited about it, but like the only thing is, like Derek said though, like in a couple months, what are we gonna get out of this? Do I see Uncle Howdy as a WWE champion? Absolutely not. You know, do I see him as an IC champion? Absolutely not. I'm not gonna lie to you. Do I see?
No,
Eric
not
Rowan?
right now.
No, but like seeing Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman as a tag team, I can see that for sure. Can I see them as tag team champions? I can see that, but I just want to know, what is the direction that you're going to go in with this? Because as soon as this starts going left, and there's going to be a lot of complaints that, okay, you did this, but you're not really honoring Bray's vision, or, you know, stuff like that. So I get what you're saying, Derek. I'm personally still looking forward to it.
I'll be the first person to say, like, I was wrong if this turns out to be like phenomenal and I love it. Honestly, I might even make like a bold prediction right now.
Oh God! Oh man!
Yes, here we go.
Right now, WrestleMania 41. Not only is Bray Wyatt going to be the headliner inducted into the Hall of Fame, but at WrestleMania 41, some iteration of this Wyatt Six clan faction, whatever, is going to win the tag team championships.
That is bold. That is bold. See, look, DJ's liking that idea already.
Yeah.
Looks like you had to make up for hurting his feelings earlier, huh? See, look, he's all smiling now.
You was mentioning before, like the things that we are currently doing, and you mentioned Chad Gable. You're gonna need to give me a whole section to talk about Chad Gable because that is my guy.
So right now,
we could do it right. We can jump into it right now. What he did to Sammy,
the floor is yours.
Cinema, loved it. We were talking about it even before. The fact that Chad Gable ripped Sami Zayn out of his wife's arms to give him that German suplex.
Heat.
I'm ready for all of it.
Heat.
And I don't know if you saw. Did you see a tweet this week from Julius Creed?
No, I didn't.
He posted this week following Monday what happened on Monday Night Raw, just saying ready, willing, and
listen.
I just left it blank.
Give me the Creed brothers in. And
if he is alluding to the Creed brothers working with Chad Gable,
okay.
New
Alpha
Academy. Take all my money. Take all my money.
On Monday Night Raw, I don't know if you guys remember that interview that they did with Chad Gable before the match. And it was like they did this thing where they did the interview. It was a pre-recorded interview in the ring before the show started, which I thought was fucking dope how they did that. And he was training, Chad Gable was training with the Creed brothers. So I don't know, maybe a little hint, wink, wink there, but that would be really cool. Fuck yeah.
Yes. I need that.
I need
that.
Dude, we all do, man. The Creed brothers need that too, because fuck, they haven't been doing jack shit.
Yeah. And they're too talented to just be sitting there.
I hope so too, man. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for this title reign that Sami Zayn is doing. Actually, I was kind of upset when he won at WrestleMania. I was a big Gunther guy, and I'm like, well, okay, what is Sami Zayn gonna do with it that Gunther can't, or that Gunther can't do better? You know?
Yeah.
But then they do this, literally, like, what was it, like the week after?
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
I'm thinking the one thing about Sami Zayn, right, and this has been true throughout his whole WWE career, is that whatever storyline he's gonna give you, he's gonna make you believe it.
Yeah.
Right. He gives his heart and soul into everything he does. And I think this IC title reign this time is going to be completely different because one, in this new era, it feels like he fits in a little better, like that character arc, and also the way Gunther elevated that title, you have no choice but to keep trying to one up what the next person did. So I think he had to make sure, like, Gunther gave you fire matches, right? And it didn't even have to be like great storylines, but he gave you, you're going to see a good IC title match. I think Sami's going to give you a good IC title match, and he's going to give you a good storyline, something that you're going to hook into for sure. Yeah, man.
Bet. Man, so we got some good shit going on this week, not just in WWE, but AEW. SmackDown's going to be tomorrow. One last thing before we go, fellas.
Yeah.
How's you guys feel about Sheamus' big return?
Hey, man, that guy is pale as ever. Looks great, though, man. I'm not going to lie.
Honestly, after that tweet that he posted for me, all is forgiven. What did he say? I'm just big bone.
Listen,
I was like, all right, bro, you can look however you want. That's hilarious.
If you ask Derek what his favorite matches are, it's big meaty men slapping meat. All right, those are his favorite matches, and now Sheamus is going to be able to provide that.
The bigger, the better.
The bigger, the better.
Whoa, pause.
Pause.
I was like, man, I knew there was something different about Sheamus, man. I knew it, but I couldn't put my finger on it,
Yeah.
dude. But then again, like I'm that guy. Like I'm very careful about what I say. So my mind didn't automatically go to the most obvious thing,
Nah,
right?
bro, that was the first thing I noticed.
No, he's
Okay.
huge.
Okay.
The trunks didn't help either, though.
Yeah, no.
So
They
the
weren't very
pictures that I'm
flattering trunks either.
that's what I'm saying. Like even like his outfit, he just went out there like, hey, this is me, and this is I don't give a fuck. I'm living my best life. Take me, or was it? If y'all don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, or some
Yeah.
shit. That was him. He was like, I don't give a fuck.
Listen, you're getting Sheamus either way.
Yeah. At least it seems like he's. I know he recently got married, like in recent years, so at least he looks happily married.
Okay, that's it. That explains it. Then, okay,
That's that
marriage.
Yeah,
marriage will do that to you, dude.
Exactly. I can't be mad at that.
Dude, I'm telling you from experience. Okay, this wasn't all here a few years ago, dude. So so Sheamus. Okay, we learned a lot today on this podcast. See,
yeah, man, that's that happy weight.
There you go.
Sheamus got the happy weight. Avoid Oklahoma at all costs.
Yes.
Yep.
And the White Six, they can take their time with that one. Bet. That was the wrap up for this podcast, man. Thank you guys. I had so much fun talking to y'all, getting to know y'all, and hopefully this is the first of many times that you guys come on, or vice versa. I'm gonna invite myself to your show next time.
Let's go.
Oh, please, come on, man.
Snug Wrestling meets 3D Wrestling podcast, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
and I'll bring all the flames. I'll bring all the flames.
Oh, please, bring all the hot takes.
All the hot takes. That's what we want.
All right, fellas. Why don't you tell the people, listeners, one last time where they can find y'all?
Well, you can find us on Instagram at 3D Wrestling Podcast. You can find us on TikTok at 3D Wrestling Pod. We are slowly but surely putting all our episodes up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, getting that done. Man, we're on YouTube at 3D Wrestling Pod. I think 3D Wrestling Podcast, actually. All our episodes are up there. Putting out.
It's easy to find, people. It's easy to find. 3D. Sure. Boom. Done.
Yes.
Pretty consistent. 3D Wrestling Podcast, 3D Wrestling Pod.
And man, shout out Derek, shout out the pod, shout out you, man. Snug Wrestling. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Having us, man. Really.
Too sweet.
Thank y'all for listening, and we'll talk soon. Later.
Sweet. Deuces.